Hey everyone, it's Coding with Kareem. In our last video, we looked into using a unbuffered channel, and we saw that using a unbuffered channel, both sending and receiving values into a channel happens in a blocking manner. So looking at the code that we have in this file, we send the value of 10 into our channel on line 10, and then on line 12, we attempt to receive that value from that channel and store it into this number variable. However, since we're using a unbuffered channel, the act of sending the value of 10 into our channel will block our program until we have a receiver ready to actually pick up that value from that channel. That does not happen until line 12, so we inevitably get a deadlock. And we can demonstrate that by simply running this file. And as you guys see, we get a deadlock error. So let's say we want to send and receive to a channel in a non-blocking manner. Well, to do so, you have to declare a buffer channel. And you can simply do so by adding a second argument into the make function. And since we know we're only passing in one value into our channel, I'm going to add a buffer of 1. So now that I have a buffer channel, I'm simply just going to rerun this code. And as you guys see, instead of seeing a deadlock in our terminal, we now see the value of 10. So let's actually try sending a second value into our channel now. So instead of just sending the value of 10, I'm going to send the value of 20. I'm also going to declare another variable to kind of store the value of 20, and then I'll print out both of these numbers into the terminal. So now we expect to see the values of 10 and 20 in our terminal, and let's see what we get. We get a deadlock. What happened? I thought you said that using a buffer channel means that sending and receiving happens in a non-blocking manner. Well, the thing is that when we declare this buffer channel, we only add a buffer of 1, which means that on line 10, attempting to send the value of 10 into our channel happens no problem. Our program is able to pass in this value and then immediately move on to line 11. However, once we hit line 11, we've already used up the buffer in our channel, which means our buffer channel turns into an unbuffered channel. And like you guys saw before, sending a value into a unbuffered channel will block until you have a receiver ready to read from that channel. We're not doing so in this program until lines 13 and 14, which means our code will deadlock. How do we get around that? Well, since we know we're passing in two values into our channel, instead of passing in a buffer of 1, we need to pass in a buffer of 2. So let's run this code. And now, as you guys see, we get the values of 10 and 20 in our terminal. So what's the main difference? Well, a buffer channel is simply a way for us to send and receive in a asynchronous manner, while a unbuffered channel is a way for us to send and receive in a synchronous manner. And whenever you use up the buffer for a buffer channel, that buffer channel will turn into a unbuffered channel. So that's just something to keep in mind. That's essentially it for this video. I hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you in the next one.